Skyrim VR might actually be my favorite VR game like ever. I tried it a few years ago unmodded, and I was absolutely disgusted by Bethesda's lack of care for their games again. Fast forward to a month ago when I installed God's Overhaul 3.0 mod pack, and holy shit, it completely changes the game. Today we're diving into one of the most immersive ways to play Skyrim VR. Is it a haptic vest? Maybe. Is it playing the game upside down like that fella right there? Look at that fella, man. You go, guy. I mess with you. But sadly, no. It is using a VR treadmill. If you ever dreamed of literally walking through Whiterun or running away from a dragon in real life, give me a few minutes because we gotta talk. Guys, we're talking next level immersion, interactivity, and FUN. And if you can't spell, that's fun. And fun is what VR is all about to me. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe because a lot of you guys don't do that. So help your boy out and let's get into it. So what exactly is a VR treadmill? Well, it's a slightly magical device that lets you walk, run, jump, or even sneak in place while your movements are translated perfectly in game. For a simple explanation, it's like the movie Ready Player One, if you've ever seen that. Ironically, I've never seen the movie, but a lot of people say that whenever they come to my streams, I'm using my VR treadmill. For this video though, the VR treadmills you're gonna see are from KatVR. Most of the gameplay is gonna be the Katwalk C2 Core, and I recently just got the Katwalk C2 Plus, which I'm sitting on right now. And yes, it comes with a seat. Personally, I love these VR treadmills. They've really changed how I VR game. I've become so uninterested in playing VR games the regular way that is actually starting to affect my content now. The craziest part is I even lost weight with these things during my VR fitness challenge. I started at 290 and I'm down to 278. And I started about 2 months ago, so not too bad, I would say. If you want one of these VR treadmills though, check the description below and you can get them for $130 off using code MartyDude at checkout. If you want a full review of the Katwalk C2 Core, then go to this review that you're seeing on the screen right now because I'll really go in depth about my experience. I think it would interest a lot of you guys. Back to Skyrim VR though. I finally got around to retrying this game after years because it's literally one of the most advertised games on the Katwalk treadmill, and I needed a game to walk around on stream and lose weight. So eventually I said, why not? That legit was one of the best VR gaming decisions I've ever made. There's a ridiculous amount of stuff you can do, especially with the God Overhaul mod pack and just Skyrim VR in general. With added mods, you can physically interact with NPCs and objects in the world, actually talk to NPCs using the AI, beat the actual life out of your enemies with physics-based combat, and a bunch of other fun things. One of my favorite things definitely was using the magic because I genuinely felt like Doctor Strange, and that was amazing to me. It's just one of those immense feelings of power and just awesomeness you don't feel too often in VR. Walking through Skyrim is entirely different though. It's one thing to play a game flat on your PC or console, or even regularly play it in VR. Actually walking through the game in real life is a just life-changing experience and gave me a new respect for the world of Skyrim. There's an insane amount of detail in the world, and the best way to describe the experience is that it's immersive. You're definitely gonna hear that word a lot during this video because that's one of the main goals of VR games in my opinion. Skyrim by itself is already an incredible RPG experience, but adding the VR treadmill takes it to a whole new level that I never thought was possible. You also realize how goddamn huge the map of Skyrim is. After running to the point where my legs cramped one stream, I did a little bit of research. I discovered, and I not, that the map of Skyrim is 37 kilometers long and that's 23 miles long for my American love. Bro, I was so tired running through the game, especially with no horse, but I legit forgot I was tired because I was just having so much fun. There's so many random encounters you have and just random fights and just a lot of cool stuff you discover walking through Skyrim. And speaking more on immersion, bro, you can actually talk to the NPCs. Using a mod called Mantella AI, you can have natural conversations with characters using your voice.
What? What the?
Hello, Master. Is there something I can do for you?
Okay, Lydia, do you realize you're in a video game called Skyrim?
In Skyrim, Master? As in the Nordic Kingdom? Is that what we're calling it now?
No. You're in a video game. A video game is something that you play with technology. You're in a video game called Skyrim.
I don't understand, Master. What do you mean by video game?
A video game is something you play on a game console, which is something that's hundreds of years in the future. So like, I can't explain it to you, but Just remember, you're in a video game called Skyrim.
I see. A game inside a game within a game. Interesting concept. But I suppose it does explain why I am here serving a Dragonborn instead of my usual duties guarding Whiteland.
Okay, now that I told you you're in a video game, does that change any way you feel about yourself?
I'm not sure what you mean by realized, Master. Yes. It's interesting to know that I am in a game within one's game console. However, I am still a Nord and sworn to serve you as a houseguard in Skyrim. Whatever your wishes may be, I will carry them out to the best of my ability.
Okay, Lydia, you're one of the best video game NPCs a man could ask for. This actually blew my mind. It does cost some after using it a bunch, and there are free options you can use, but the fact it even works is insane to me. Combine that level of immersion, you're basically living in Skyrim. As somebody who's max put in probably 10 to 15 hours into the base game of Skyrim prior to this playthrough, I've learned so much about Skyrim's people and the world Bethesda built. I've actually developed a fondness for how the quest is set up, and I find joy in really building my dream, Dragonborn character. Of course, it's just not immersive, it's also a ton of fun. Even without the VR treadmill, Skyrim VR with its mod pack is actually peak. The combat is fully realized with it being weighty and realistic. You can handle spells, swords, warhammers, and even bows in any way you would like. Having a VR haptic vest is also very beneficial in this game because feeling enemy attacks, rain, or even sheathing your weapon is just amazing. And I must say that enemies also respond very well to weapon hits, and it genuinely feels like a current generation VR game instead of what the hell Bethesda released back in 2018. The shaders in this mod pack also add a crazy amount of vivid color to Skyrim scenery. There's also grass, foliage, and even higher textures added to the mod pack. It's definitely a struggle to run at the highest settings, especially while streaming, but you can run this with a 20 or 30 series card with no issue. Just takes a little bit of tweaking. You can do it. Now you might be thinking,
man, this sounds amazing. My favorite VR YouTuber, MartydudeVR.
but isn't modding Skyrim VR a nightmare? And to answer that, it's a yes and a no. Well, not anymore at least. Thanks to Wabbajack, a mod install does all the heavy lifting for you. Setting up Skyrim VR is literally easier than ever. You can also watch a YouTuber named VR Dad who has videos on how to set it up, and he will literally walk you through everything that you need to do. I must say that dude is awesome. Shout out to VR Dad. He saved me a lot, and I mean a lot of headaches setting this up. So was a VR treadmill worth it for Skyrim VR? If you're a hardcore fan of the game or just want to play peak VR insanity, then absolutely. It's not just playing a game, it's living it. And with tools like Wabbajack and easy access to God's Overhaul, setting it up is easier than ever. Shout out everybody that tuned in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more VR content from your boy. If you could live in any game using a VR treadmill or even use a VR treadmill in any game, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because next week I'm diving into the Katwalk C2 Plus for a review. And until next time, remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.